If you tax wealth, then imagine what happens. You have to sell wealth to pay taxes. Okay, so there's a dynamic. Understanding.
And that lowers the value of it, right?
And that's what pops bubbles.
Right.
In other words, everybody would say, wait a second, all these people are having all the wealth and they're not paying any taxes on their wealth while this is going on. Oh.
达利欧表示，泡沫并非因估值过高破裂，而是源于流动性危机。当市场出现货币需求，持有大量资产的富人被迫出售资产换取现金，便会触发泡沫崩盘。当前美国极端贫富差距，前10%人群持有近90%股票，这进一步放大风险，叠加创纪录保证金债务、潜在财富税等因素，市场脆弱性加剧。
Well, you don't tax wealth. Okay, so because you don't tax wealth, and then there is this political issue of wealth. Are you going to tax wealth? What is going to happen in California? What is going to happen elsewhere in terms of taxing wealth? If you tax wealth, then imagine what happens. You have to sell wealth to pay taxes. Okay, so there's a dynamic. Understanding.
And that lowers the value of it, right?
And that's what pops bubbles.
Right.
So the wealth issue is a political issue. The wealth gap issue is a political issue, and it's a market issue, and it's an important issue to understand.
Is it inevitable that you would see, given the way our wealth is allocated across 350 million people, that you would get the rise of wealth taxes? Because couldn't this have been predicted?
It seems like it's such an obvious headline, seemingly logical thing to do, right?
Right.
In other words, everybody would say, wait a second, all these people are having all the wealth and they're not paying any taxes on their wealth while this is going on. Okay, we need to go where the money is, right?
Right.
So it seems like that without then, the full understanding of those things and how to do it in a, managed way. But so it's upon us, certainly.
And what will happen? I mean, that's, I think, a referendum in California. So,
I think what's happening is, and we're seeing it around the world in many different ways, people are people in California moving, and it's not the it happening, it's the fear of it happening.
Right.
So you're seeing that dynamic. I'm just like I'm a mechanic.
Of course, I get it. You're not judging either way. You're just describing what's happening. But because that is happening and people are moving, and not just within the country, but outside the country, do you have any guesses or observations about where people are moving? So clearly in the country, it's Texas, Florida, but Wyoming, but in the world, where are people moving?
Generally speaking, they're moving to where there's civility and opportunity, and there's not much fighting. They want to be in places that have they go to places that have lower taxation, but also vibrancy. They go Texas and Florida, as you say, and here in the Middle East, or in in places that are also vibrant and things are happening. And so you could see the patterns of those kinds of movements. And then the problems that creates is a hollowing out in those places, the other places, because when they leave, the tax base is, roughly speaking, the top 10% pays about 80% of 76% or something of the taxes. And so when you lose, let's say half of them, you lose a big amount of tax revenue. And then that becomes a dynamic.